बोला वो मानपाड़ा में था ना, नहीं है, दे मैं भर के ला।
श्रद्धा
Participants,
म्यूट करो। श्रद्धा सिंह
और दो, फटाफट दो।
participants, kindly mute yourself.
Can you mute you from your end, Padma Patil? To all of us? No?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Single.
We'll start in next 2 minutes, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Shreya madam has joined.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Can we start, ma'am?
Yes, please. It's 11. We should start now.
Ma'am, we start the recording.
Yes. Recording will start now. Okay.
No, ma'am. We start. Start.
चिपका दिया क्यों निकाल रहे हैं?
Anish, please mute yourself. Anish Ingle, please mute yourself. Yes, Padma madam, you can start now. It's 11.
Ma'am, recording start हो रहा है.
Okay, okay, fine. Recording start. Fine.
Yes. Good morning to all of you. Yes, recording start. Good morning to one and all present here. I, Assistant Professor Padma Patil. Assistant Professor Padma Patil's Women's Development Cell Coordinator and Statistics and Mathematics Lecturer. It gives to me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to all are present here on behalf of Women's Development Cell of GANGA Education Trust, Degree College of Arts, Commerce and Science. GANGA Education Trust, Degree College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Thane West, established in 2006, has completed 15 years in providing the quality of education as well as exposed to its students in different fields. I welcome our founder and chairman, Honorable Professor B.D. Patil, sir, of GANGA Education Trust. It is a matter of great pleasure to and honor for me to welcome our principal ma'am, Dr. Bhavika Karkera madam. Here, I welcome to our honorable guest of today's international workshop, Miss Pang Cha A ma'am, Dr. Dinu Methu ma'am, and Dr. Hema Mehta ma'am. Today, we all gathered here to discuss about very important topic of our international webinar, that is awareness about the domestic violence and sexual harassment at the workplace. I am sure that you all will feel enriched that knowledge after the completion of this workshop. I welcome you all once again to our workshop and hope you all will have a great time ahead. I request our founder and chairman, Honorable Professor P.D. Patil, sir, to address to our audience. Over to you, sir. Sir,
प्रीतम unmute करो सर का ये.
Good morning to everyone present over here in this webinar.
Good morning, sir.
good morning, sir.
On behalf of GANGA Education Trust, Degree College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Godbandar Road, Thane, Maharashtra, India, I welcome you all for this webinar that is about the awareness about domestic violence and sexual harassment at workplace. Dear participants, it is my pleasure to inaugurate this webinar, which is having high value in society. It is the problem of all over the world. Rather, it is very the problem is in developing world, like the developing countries, particularly India and other Asian countries and all. So, to create an awareness among the people, among the citizens of our country, or rather world, to make sure that parity among the male and female all over the world. And nowadays, the women workforce has increased and increasing very fast at the different countries as well as in India. But if you see the social phenomena of India, there is great domestic violence and sexual harassment at workplace, particularly in case of women. And it is our immense duty to give the proper weightage to the workers, women workers at different level, whether it is at lower level or higher level. That is not a matter. Matter is we should give very free hand to all the employers and other employees to treat women, the employees at workplace, even at domestic place, to be honored for their dignity. So, as an academician, I feel this topic is very much relevant in this present world. So, dear friends, on behalf of this college, I declare this webinar is open for discussion, and I wish you best luck for this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Padma.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I request our college principal, Dr. Bhavika Karkera ma'am, to say a few words or address to our participants. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to our DGT founder and chairman, Professor B.D. Patil sir. Our speaker for the first session, who is a psychology lecturer in Taylor University, Malaysia, Ms. Panchia Yi. All the participants, my teaching, non-teaching staff, dear students, to the one-day international workshop on awareness about domestic violence and sexual harassment at workplace. Today's topic for discussion or for the workshop is very sensitive in nature. However, creating an awareness is must. We all know that sexual harassment is an unwanted conduct of a sexual nature that is persistent, and many a times it restricts an employee's job performance also. However, after uptent law making instruments and various gatekeepers like activists, NGOs, sexual harassment at work still remained a perennial issue, I feel. We all know that safe workplace is a legal right of every employee. When I say employee, I would say it includes all strata. It could be our house helper, or it could be the CEO working in a highly esteemed multinational organization. Today we will talk about this issue, and surely at the end of the session, we would be enlightened and would be armed with solution to this issue. There is also a second issue we will be targeting in today's workshop is, from our learned speaker is a domestic violence. If you ask me, as per my opinion, Domestic violence is a purely a mental illness, wherein in insecurity, frustration, which leads to an anger issue, which in turns into a domestic violence. Both the issues, whether it is a sexual harassment or a domestic violence, are not area specific. I feel it's a global and it's a quite branded. Hence, no one likes to discuss it openly. People sweep it under the carpet and want to be quiet about it. Plenty of such examples are coming to light in media. Even our constitution plays an important role in the protection of these kind of an issue. However, the motto of organizing today's workshop is to create an awareness, and I'm sure after this session or after this workshop, you all, many people will get in help. They'll be able to talk about it and will get a solution also. And I thank all the participants for joining the workshop and making it a grand success. Thank you once again. And once again, welcome to the first speaker, Ms. Pangshia Yi. It's a glad to see you, ma'am. And I thank Vaishali Oja, ma'am, from KES College to getting connected with you. Thank you once again. And now I will request Padma Patil to proceed further. Thank you. Yes, Padma, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, welcome today's speaker from Malaysia. Welcome, ma'am, by the Indian Sanskriti. Welcome. Yes. Introduction of our today's first session speaker, Ms. Pangshia A. Madam is the psychology lecturer in Taylor University, Malaysia, researcher and therapist, more than 10-year experience in the mental health field, expertise in gender studies, personal development, and the counseling. Madam has conducted many more workshops, training, and the talk for the corporations, schools, and public. Madam is currently doing the PhD in sex education in Malaysia. I have more and more list of madam, but I have select some because ma'am is joined from the Malaysia. Ma'am, welcome to India, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Can I share my slides really quickly? Just to, yeah, that's okay. Let me see how to share. Are you able to see my slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So, as mentioned, I want to say thank you very much, everybody and the organizer, for the Women Development Cell, for organizing this event, which is the awareness about domestic violence and sexual harassment at workplace. Today, my topic would be on how domestic violence from home impacts the workplace demands. So, as most of us know, a lot of times when we think about domestic violence or when we think about sexual harassment, usually we always think that women are always the victim. But I would like you all to change that perception a little bit and be mindful that also men can be victims of the domestic violence from people.
Ma'am, slide is not visible.
Oh, the slide is not visible. Sorry. Okay, let me try sharing again. Can you see my slide?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right.
Ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so a little bit of myself. Earlier, the moderator has introduced myself. I used to work with domestic violence or sexual harassment cases in Canada, the UK, and part-time here in Malaysia. So first of all, I just want everybody to be very clear about what is domestic violence. So domestic violence, this definition is from the United Nations, where it can be defined as a pattern of behavior in any relationship that is used to gain or maintain power. So usually the person who is verbally or acting very abusive tend to want to maintain certain power and control over the intimate partner. So abuse can be physical, can be sexual, can be emotional, it can be economic or psychological actions or threats of action that influence another person. So this is one of those things that we have to be very clear on what is domestic violence and how domestic violence at home can impact you at workplace. So let me ask everybody here, can we have domestic violence at workplace? Is it possible to have domestic violence at workplace? Okay, answer is yes, we can have domestic violence at workplace. So the other term that I want to clarify with everybody, which is sexual harassment. What is sexual harassment? It's any form of unwanted words and or actions of a sexual nature that violates a person's body, privacy or feelings and make that person feel uncomfortable, okay, or threatened, insecure, scared, disrespected, startled, insulted, intimidated, abused, offended, or objectified. This is from harassment.org definition. So sexual harassment can impact your work performance, okay? So after clearing out the definition of sexual harassment and domestic violence, so now we have a clearer picture on what is domestic violence and sexual harassment. So this not always happen at home, but today I'm going to focus on how, when it happens at home, how does it impact you or your friends who are going through domestic violence at home? How does it impact them at workplace? So there's a few things here. There's a lot of information here, and just to be mindful, internationally, globally, 736 million women, 1 in 3, are subjected to sexual or physical or sexual intimate partner violence. And a lot of us, sometimes we don't realize it. You do not know it, that you are part of the statistics. And I know this number sounds really, really scary. And of those who have been in a relationship, almost 1 out of 4 adolescent girls, young teenage girls in the world, 15 to 19 years old, have experienced physical or sexual violence from an intimate partner or even husbands, because some of them are already married, right? So this is from United Nations. In 2018, an estimated 1 in 7 women had experienced physical or sexual violence. So violence against women disproportionately affects low or lower income countries and regions. So I think it's a very good thing that your organization is doing this kind of workshop, is to educate people and be mindful what is sexual violence or what is domestic violence, what is sexual harassment. And this last one is quite alarming. Globally, 81,000 women and girls were killed in 2020. Around 47,000 of them, which is 58%, died at the hands of an intimate partner or a family member, which equals to a woman or girl likely killed every 11 minutes in their home. So in 58% of all killings perpetrated by inmates, partners, or family members, the victim was a girl or woman. Chances of it were quite high. All right. So what happens during this whole COVID? So this whole COVID would have had more. So I wanted to share this because I think that COVID has a lot of impact on us internationally, not just in India, but also in Malaysia and everywhere else in the world. COVID has led to amount of forced cohabitation, and it has increased the risk of domestic abuse or domestic violence at home. I'm not sure, is everybody back at work or are you still working from home? So domestic abuse victims, right, or people who experience domestic violence, even without the pandemic, tend to be isolated from their family and friends or support networks. So perpetrators of abuse are using stay-at-home situation and opportunity to flex their power over their victims. So stress is not the cause, not the only cause of domestic abuse or domestic violence. So there are many things that can trigger it. So staying at home can be more dangerous than the coronavirus itself. So what are we doing about it? How do we educate people? So we can't really tell people what to do a lot of times, but if you could, that would be great. Be aware of the social isolation, quarantine, and distancing that may impact you or your family's psychological well-being. So it's important that if you want to reduce stress at home, do seek information on reliable source on how to reduce stress at home. Seeking support from family members, call them, email them, or text them. Or trying to extend possible or interesting daily routines or make time for physical activity or have enough sleep. Very important, please get enough sleep. And using relaxation exercise, such as slow breathing, yoga, meditations, or engage in activity in the past that help you to manage adversity. But this is at home. So how does domestic violence at home influence you here at work? So you can be very capable at work. You can be very, productive at work. But because you have something going on at home, it does influence your performance at work. Okay? So if you or you know someone who is experiencing violence at home, try to reach out to them. All right? Try to reach out to them. Provide some form of support to manage their stress or teach them how to deal with different range of responsibility of taking care of the food supply or, develop a safety plan, help them to develop a safety plan. Maybe it's either for yourself or your children in case the violence escalates, or you can help them to plan. Okay? Keeping numbers of neighbors, like phone numbers and stuff, so they can call and go for help, come up with a plan B. Sometimes for some companies I know in the world, where when domestic violence does happen at home, you can actually inform your human resource, your HR, and workplace so they can help. Keep information about domestic abuse hotlines, social worker, if there is social worker who works on this in India. Look into child protection and know where's the nearest police station. Okay, so sometimes we can notice other people are struggling with it. Okay, so this is the lecture part that I'm going to stop now. All right. Okay, so I'm back to here. I would like to know, what kind of, from everyone, what would be the signs that somebody is going through a domestic violence at home? What would be the signs? If you're at work, how do you notice someone is going through something struggling? And remember, domestic violence, right, or even sexual harassment, sometimes it's not just physical. It can be verbal. So what are the signs?
A person is quiet.
Person can be quiet suddenly. Maybe the person's always outgoing, happy-go-lucky, but all of a sudden become very quiet. Yes?
They might not talk to anybody.
They might not want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And what is the best way to reach out to these people?
Talk to them. Make them speak what is happening in their life.
For
I
them, there
think
should
that
be a
will be a bit
counselor.
more comfortable, uncomfortable for them actually if we directly approach them. But the thing is, they will show clear signs of sleep deprivity and or we can see basically the person will be always tired. They won't be able to perform. They won't be able to speak. They will be more of an introvert. They will try to be away from the crowd or away from people, and they will stop trying to take some interaction. So in that case, directly approaching them will be a difficult task. but if we can by some way help them through HR or something, that will be better.
Yes. So a lot of times people do not like, especially adults, the older adults, we don't like to be told what to do. So what happens is you offer your open, I call it the open arms. So what is open arms? Is tell them that, look, you look tired, you look stressed, I'm worried. However, just to let you know, I'm here for you. Feel free to talk to me anytime. Leave the door open. Do not ask them to share with you what's going on at home because they might not be comfortable with you. And don't forget, domestic violence can happen to boys, men. It also can happen to women. So a lot of times, like especially with men, they're not going to tell you they're in a domestic violence situation. They rather suffer in pain, in silence, rather than telling you what's going on. All right? So a lot of times you open up your door and say, hey, I'm here if you need someone to talk to. And let them decide if they want to reach out to you. That is one way of reaching out to other people. Any other suggestion on how can we reach out? And if you see signs of domestic violence at home or something is troubling them, let's do a bit of psychology.
Ma'am, they might be aggressive or social anxiety. For that, they should need to go to a counselor. They will heal them by therapy.
And some of them do not want to go in the counselor. I'm not crazy. Why do I need a counselor? But sometimes all they need is a friend. So can you be that friend, or can you be a good colleague that be there for them?
We can talk to them as a friendly and be a colleague of them.
Yes,
Try
Naki.
to socialize with them.
You can be a good listener without commenting or judging any particular situation.
Correct. You can be a very good listener without commenting or judging any particular situation.
We need to present them with icebreakers. Basically, in some way or other, we need to bring them back into that group so that they can start up social interaction. Once they start feeling comfortable, they will automatically open up to us regarding their issues. Yeah, they may after a point, they will be tired enough, fed up enough to basically speak up. And then we can basically then support them, or we can try suggesting them some ideas. Means basically we are trying to make them our friend first, let them open up to us, and then we can bring them some suggestions, or we can help them out. If they want to go for counseling, we can directly take them for that.
Sometimes counseling is, I just want to share, sometimes counseling is not the way that they want to go. Sometimes they just needed to know that what they're going through is hard. So it's very important that, and you have to understand, every individual is very
Once they want to comfortable with you, then we can tell and suggest anything.
I think,
Yes.
ma'am, I think that sometimes to know the victims, you yourself have to act as a victim in front of them. And you have to narrate your own story, or a story which a person can understand that this person is himself as a domestic violence victim. Then they will start talking, as I have done it with my one of the colleague, stating the same thing. And I just came through some things, some events where I thought that she's very much disturbed, and I started saying her my life incidents, that this things happened with me. And then finally she started opening up. And then once she started opening up, then she started saying all the drama what happened in her life, from her in-laws, from her husband. And now she is happily separate. Sometimes we have to behave like a victim in front of them. Otherwise, they are so much introvert, they will never speak up.
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, this is my point of view. If any abusement or any harassment happens to anyone, we should tell them that this is not the end of our life. This is just an incident which is happening to us. This is not the end of your life. There are so many things that you can do more. So if you're giving them a confidence, they will speak up. And they'll be thinking that, okay, this is not a big problem to me. This is happening to many of us. So what we need to find the solution. So we have to make their mind to be like that.
Yes.
Ma'am, I don't agree in this because it's very difficult for the victim to move out from that situation. It's easy to say that they can, but like in real life, it's my personal. It happened to me. So I'm saying that it's not an easy task to just say that.
Ma'am, I have a slight different opinion. I feel that whenever there's a case of domestic violence, what has happened is the person who has undergone so much, who's already reached a point where the person starts getting demotivated, loses confidence in herself. So instead of handling all other situations of domestic violence or getting the person to speak or anything, first the person should be praised for the qualities which the person has. So that will motivate the person to value himself or herself. That may bring about a change in the outlook. Then the person will be more positive in handling situations.
Yeah, so it really depends on the situation. It really depends on the personality of the person. Anybody else would like to share?
And sometimes the family force them to go to the different kind of psychiatrists, and they don't tell them where they are taking. They are so ashamed of telling that victim that we are taking you this way or this plat or wherever. It happened to me. My family took, like, from childhood they used to take me to the different doctors without even telling me what is the problem. Whatever I do, they have the problem, like isko to kuch to problem hai. Like, I'm being myself. Like, they have so much problem with that. Now also I'm getting the pills. I have to eat at night, and like I don't know why they are giving me, but I have to. If I will not eat, then they will send me to that place again. It's a rehabilitation center in Navi Mumbai. So it's if an incident happened to me, I will share later when I will get comfortable. Thank you.
What I feel about domestic violence, if I may speak, is it's domestic. Domestic means our family members are involved already. So when family members are involved, we actually don't want to speak about it because it's us, a part of them, which is going to speak up, or we are going to show our weakness or our drawbacks, our family's drawbacks. Somebody is hitting us or somebody is abusing us. That means we are a part of them itself. So that is maybe one of the reason nobody speaks up, because it's family after all. How can we expose them?
I'm
That
agree
is
with
another
you.
thing.
I'm totally agree with you because if we talk about our family, so the third person will take a chance and do the same things with us.
That's correct. That will be our weakness now. So
Because
that
if we
may be
talk
one
about
of the
family,
reasons.
like exactly, if we talk about family, so the third person will take a chance and will violences are coming from them also.
Yeah, then they will stereotype us that she is getting abused, so let us abuse her itself, like that. So that is a chain reaction. That may be one of the reason why nobody opens up.
But that does not mean that we should keep quiet. Though it is a family member, many a times use domestic violence, as we are using the word domestic. It is happening inside the house. If we assume in that way, then we should speak up about it. But if we do not speak up, then the person who is the abuser, he will get a free license to abuse the person to
Very
whom he is
correct, very correct.
abusing.
So the
So
whole
there should
family
be
needs
somebody should open up about it.
very true. If the person who is going through it and he's मतलब जो सहने वाला है वो भी is in the fault, and the abuser is also in the fault. So we need to open up. The whole family needs to open up to it. So
So many a times these kind of incidences are suppressed. Nobody is allowed to speak in that case. And in that case, the abuser is getting the very good chance to abuse the other person also. So for that matter, we should not take it for granted. Action should be taken at the right time.
But it's not easy to admit if you're in a domestic violence situation. You're showing your vulnerability. So that's why when people share things with you, we have to take them seriously. We have to check in with people, because to admit to you that I am in a very vulnerable situation, I am in a domestic violence situation, it is so hard to share, because in our culture, in the Asian culture, we are not supposed to talk about it. We're not supposed to talk about it because we're not encouraged to talk about it. Women are still, I'm sorry, but women will still being looked upon that we have to work extra hard to prove ourselves in the workforce. Men are still getting higher pay in general than women. There's still inequality. Will we ever reach equality?
Women are taught only to suffer and tolerate.
I disagree on this, ma'am. It's up to you, ma'am. You cannot, make yourself on through. So I can just say in one word that now, as a woman, we have to stand for ourselves, be it with our family. Even if our family is doing a domestic violence, we need to stand with ourselves. I had been a time when I was all alone to fight against all the odds.
I
You
agree
have
with
to
you, ma'am.
stand. You have to stand with yourself, otherwise you won't be able. Past 10 years were the worst of my life, but today I am having a blissful life, I can say that much. But because I took a stand against my family, against my in-laws, just with my son, and I fought left, right, and center with everyone. I'm telling you, ma'am, it's not about the domestic
If you're
violence. It
not
is what
stand for
we,
your own self, if you're not stand for your own self and you're not able to speak with someone else, or you can take actions for your own self, so it's
exactly,
very
ma'am.
necessary to stand up for your own self.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Well, actually, here the question comes that many people, many ladies are not independent. They are not financially independent. And when
You
such
will be
type of
financially independent only when you think that you have to be.
when this
We
type
have to
of
start with
violence,
zero.
Exactly, Geeta,
We,
exactly.
we have to
I'm
start
just
with
talking.
zero, madam. We have to start with zero. I have started my life when I came to India. I started my life with scratch, a zero penny. When I was earning in 2003-4, I was earning something good. Started my life with zero. Today I'm having a blissful life. But ma'am, you have to stand for your right.
It's
No,
not
That is
very
very correct.
important how much
Geeta,
financial you
I
are strong.
understand
That's not
your
very important if you are very financially strong or not. You have to
Finance
financially
comes last
you
actually.
should be
I'll,
strong for emotionally. First thing is for
Mentally,
women is
emotionally.
emotionally and mentally you have to be very strong. If you are not mentally and emotionally strong, you are not able to speak for your own self only.
For
that's
that, you
true.
need to really,
Only a strong can help another person. So we need to be strong ourselves. Once we are
Actually,
strong,
education.
instead of sympathizing, we should take the empathy of everyone. We should give the empathy, instead of sympathizing.
Yes.
That's
So,
But
true. That's true.
I think for fighting with such issues, we should know the laws. We should have the education, and we should know the information about the laws and how the laws and the country system will help us to come out of it and how to fight out. Education, of course, matters. Financial dependence also matters, because when you are bold enough to come out of the situation, then only you can fight. So
yes.
for us,
Exactly. Some
information
women.
about the rules and regulations and rights of women, and for the men also, I would say that they are also sufferers somewhere. We cannot say that only women are having domestic violence. I have seen some men also, without any rhyme and reason, they have been put in this very bad condition. They are going to court because the ladies have the rights, more rights. So we cannot talk only about the ladies. Somewhere we have to think about the gents also. They are also sufferers. So domestic violence, I think 30-40% men are also affected. So we should have the knowledge about the rules and benefits of the rules.
Mm. So we talk about being strong, that women should be strong. It's easy said than
Ex-
done.
actually,
Yes.
actually, be a
Especially
strong. We
for
need
me,
to stay for
in
yourself.
our, especially in Indian society, we
Mm.
log kya kahenge, what other people will think if I take the step and all like that, fearing about the people and fearing about the society. People go on getting into that suffering, and it will be the practice. Aisa hi hota hai. It's like that only. Like that, we have taken things for granted. So it has come to this extent.
Mm. So when do you have to be strong? When would this person need to be strong? Is there a timeline that I confide into you? If I tell Ishwari, I'm going through a domestic violence, she cannot say, oh, now you must be strong. No. The amount of hurt, the amount of emotional baggage that we have, and the scars process is not something that you need to just stand up and fix things and everything will be okay. No, it does not work that way. It doesn't happen overnight that you're healed from all the wounds from the violence thing. Because don't forget, you fell in love with this person, you committed to this person, and this person is bringing you down. And you started questioning your judgment. What made you fall in love with this person? Why do you commit to this person? What is marriage? So what I'm trying to get is that even though when women are trying to be strong, they move 2 steps front, they're going to get pushed back 1 step behind. And not all the time counseling is needed because not many women believe in counseling. And when you meet a not so great counselor, you're just going to feel that nobody's going to help me. No. So don't feel that way. I want you to believe that if the counselor does not work for you, find a You're moving 5 steps forward in healing, you're going to be pushed back. Yeah, sorry, thank you. So if you're moving 5 steps forward and you're being pushed back 2 steps, that's okay. Keep going forward. Because there will be days when you're going to feel so tired of standing up for yourself and you're going to feel so tired of being strong. And then you're doing it for who? For yourself. Yes, you're doing it for yourself. But sometimes the best motivator is not yourself. The best motivation sometimes is your kids looking up to you like, go mommy, go mommy. And sometimes those are the best motivators. So you need to find your support group. Or if let's say you don't have children, and that's fine. Find a social support network, a group of friends that will keep on reminding you, go, move forward. It's okay. It's okay, you're a man. I know your wife beat you up. It's okay. You left your wife. We now have to move forward. So it's not easy to just say, okay, we have to be strong. We have to do this, ABC. Great. 1, 2, 3, ABC. We can do it. But please remember, you're only human. Psychologically, you feel very exhausted for being strong because you're not sure. Sometimes you wonder, am I being strong for who? So we get lost. Pratisha, you have a question? You raise up your hands?
Sorry, by mistake, I had clicked actually.
Oh, okay, no worries. Okay.
Sorry.
Any other questions? Rinku?
Ma'am, through this session, I just want to know that how we can educate or how we can make these things inculcated in the new generation what is upcoming, how we are going to inculcate in them to know what is domestic violence actually, because the generation what we are in right now, we were never thought about the domestic violence, how exactly it starts with. And unfortunately or fortunately or knowingly or unknowingly, we all have been through those things. But how this generation should be taught about it, and what should be the steps actually taken for them?
Okay, very good question. Number 1, I've taught you the theory. Number 2, spend less time on your phone. Start reading body language. Body language is not something that any professor or even the Almighty can teach you. You need to be able to read people's body language. You need to be able to read signs on your own. So observe your friends' behavior, observe your family members' behavior. That is your own self-taught. Because once you're good in reading people's behavior, you can be a psychologist and can read anyone. Because those are signs of your body. Those are signs. So Get off your phone. When you're hanging out with your family or friends, put your phone away. Talk to them. Reach out to them. Even if it's just say, hi, good morning, how are you? That's fine. You're reading their facial expression, you're listening to their tone of voice. So when something goes wrong, you know it because you have observed their behavior. So I'm giving you a psychology tip. Read body language. Get off your phone. You want me to tell you all why many people say, oh, I know it's domestic violence, I know it's sexual harassment, but they do not know when it happens to them. You have knowledge, yes. When are you going to apply it? And a lot of times, people are telling you stuff directly, it means verbally, directly. Sometimes it's indirectly. Communication can go two ways. Direct, I'm telling you, I'm in a domestic violence situation, or indirectly, I'm not happy. All right? So it's very important that we are able to read. Reading people is a skill that every one of us should develop. So get off your phone. Sometimes if you are socializing with people, don't always play with the phone. Socialize, build the bond. Because honestly, in psychology, you would learn that when people are going through hard times, when people are in coma, the best thing is what? Holding that person's hand. Let them hear your voice telling them that, hey, I'm here for you. And that will spark their brain to function and to heal. It's not through your phone. You think you're going to text the person in coma and say, hey, get well soon. If the person in coma is going to read it? No. Your presence is what matters to human being. So we are not going to lose that. So I want everybody, please, other than knowledge, apply and be human. Bond with the people around you. And trust me, when you have that bond, you don't have to be bonding with a lot of people. Just maybe a few people